It's a certain tip, and it does come, this one actually, this battery pack actually comes with one, but it's for the 2 screws right down here and here next to your lightning cable import. So you will need that screwdriver for those 2 screws. Everything else will be a regular small Phillips, and you will be good to go. So first thing what we're gonna do, guys, is you want to go ahead and power off your phone, take off your case, and then what we're gonna be doing is removing these 2 screws here. Again, that screw right there, and that screw right there. Okay, with these 2 screws out right here, they are very small screws, so just keep track of your screws. You don't want to have to slow your job down, have to reorder any screws. So what we're going to do now in this circumstance is you can either, if you don't have a heat gun, I actually used a suction cup and just pried it on up very carefully. But this time around, I'm actually going to be using my heat gun on the low setting. And again, I'm not going to be applying too much heat, but what I want to do is I want to gradually work my way around the edge of the screen. Again, on the low setting, keeping it about maybe 4 to 5 inches, circling about this fast around. And what I want to do is I want to heat up the glue that is keeping the screen on underneath here. And so that's going to make it a lot easier to pry up with the suction cup as well. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our heat gun here, which we have right here. Again, moving it about 4 to 5 inches above it, moving it around about this fast. We're going to be doing that for about maybe 30 to 45 seconds in total, just to get it nice and warm, not like crazy hot to the touch, because we will need to hold this with the suction cup. And if you do not have a heat gun, you can use a blow dryer as well. It will put off enough heat to loosen that glue. Now in my case, ladies and gentlemen, I got very lucky. This might have been because of the drop or because of the heat gun. Again, it's not hot. It's definitely warm to the touch, but look at my fingers are on there. We're looking great. There's actually an edge that has already started to show. And so this is going to be very easy for my pry tool to literally just pry it straight up without the suction cup. You might not get as lucky as I just did with this particular one. Each glue is a little bit different. Again, it depends, I guess, upon the dropping, etc. But if you do not have an edge that is already lipped up like that, what you do is get your suction cup, put your suction cup down this direction here. If you have a smaller one, then you can work your way in this corner, gently pry up, holding your hand underneath the bottom of it like this while you're prying up on it. And then once you start to see a little edge, then what you want to do is you want to get your pry tool and you want to get right in the bottom there. And then you want to have some guitar picks or some of the other tools there. And now we're seeing a nice gap there. So you want to go ahead and slip a guitar pick in where this pick is right here, and then gently work the screen up. Again, if it's not coming up easily, use a little bit more heat. And what we want to do is we want to back the screen up this way, because all our connector cables are at the top right up through here. So you want to be careful bringing it up. Again, be gentle with it. I did heat gun 2 times, and now it's coming up like this here. And again, all your connectors are right up there in the top corner right here. So we're gonna go ahead and lay this down, put some support on the back here so it doesn't flop completely down and ruin those flex ribbon cables. Okay, now before we do proceed, we want to go ahead and disconnect the battery from the motherboard because we don't want any electrical shocks while we're in there. I had a misfortunate in my iPad mini, blew a fuse. You want to be careful about that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab our little Phillips screwdriver. We're going to go ahead and remove that screw right there and that screw right there. And this little metal plate will lift up, and then we'll have our battery connector right there. We'll go ahead and unclip that so the battery will be 100% disconnected from the motherboard. What I like to do is I like to put it in the order it pulled it out. So this screw is actually longer facing that direction. This screw is smaller. That's exactly the way I would literally place it back in there like that. Okay, so with that little metal piece out of the way here, we see the little tab for our battery right here. We will want to be using a plastic little pry tool and unclip ribbon cable right here for our battery. So we'll take our guitar pick or whatnot and we'll go ahead and literally just get in there. I'll have to set the camera down to do it. We'll flip that tab up and then we'll put that tab out of the way. And that's the little tab flipped up from that little location right there. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and remove this shield right here to get out our ribbon cables there, our little for the front screen assembly. So we have one screw there, we have one screw there, there, and there. So total of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's go ahead and remove those, and that metal will remove. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with that little plate off, we have it set right over here. Put your screws in order. Those screws are all different sizes, where at least one of them is larger, with what looks to be 3 different sizes. So put them in order right over there, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at this little section right here. There are 4 ribbon cables we need to remove. So right here, we're going to go ahead and start with the top one here, which is this one right here. Let's go ahead and take our pry tool, remove that top one there. Sorry, the camera angles are going to be a little bit tricky, especially with getting in there nice and tight. So there's tab number 1 right there. And then underneath, we have to the right hand side, we have the other one right there. Let's go ahead and flip that one up now. Make sure that you are supporting the back of it again as you're doing this. Okay, there's 2. And then we need to go ahead and flip up this one right in front of the other one we did. That is 3. And then we're going to go ahead and pop that one up just a little bit, get that out of the way. And we're going to go for number 4 there. And this is, again, when you need the support on the back, because it will fall if you don't have that support. Okay, there is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then it just pops right off like that. Again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now with the screen off, we can go ahead and work on our battery portion here. And so what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and lightly, our motherboard is here. The motherboard can take a lot of heat, guys, but you do want to be a little bit careful. Again, we're going to be putting it on the low setting, and we're going to be going around the edges, focusing on the edges and the middle of the battery. And then we're also going to go ahead and just do it a little bit on this portion of the back side, because we want to heat that glue up really, really nicely. And so then that battery, we're going to use our pry tool here, and that battery should just lift up real nice. If you're having trouble lifting it up, remember, more heat, and then it should come out easily. The glue will separate a lot more easily with heat. So let's begin now. And if you are using a hair dryer instead of a heat gun, be very careful about blowing your screws off the table. Okay, now we just start prying from the edge. I would recommend going over towards this side here and just prying up gently. That glue in there is really strong, so you might have to do the heat a couple times. Get it from different directions, going nice and slow. Again, being careful of prying up towards the motherboard portion. I recommend being very gentle and prying up from the side rails, and being careful of your flex ribbon cables underneath the battery towards the top of it right up here. Alrighty, it's coming up real nice now with applied heat. I'm going for my 3rd heat time on the back. Again, stay away from this area right up here underneath this is again this top portion of the phone up here. You're going to have very fragile flex ribbon cables that are going to your vibrate motor, etc., to your motherboard underneath the top area. Concentrate on prying up from the little edge right up here against the aluminum side here, and working very lightly up towards this direction here, concentrating on the sides here and here. And it will peel up like this. You will pretty much destroy this battery. I would definitely not recommend trying to resell the battery. Just go ahead and recycle it at a proper disposal area. Once you get to a certain point, once the glue is loosened up there, again, just carefully with your fingers, pry it up and go ahead and get it off there. I would recommend either you can get new, fresh glue for the battery, or you can go ahead and carefully just reuse your old one. I'm going to go ahead and actually reuse the old one. It's actually very sticky still, and it's the white right there. You will probably have to play around with these black tabs a little bit here, get those out of the way, maybe even cut those off with a razor blade, because you want it, again, lay perfectly flat there. That is our old OEM battery right there, genuine Apple battery. Again, go ahead and just recycle that guy, get that out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and put the new one in now. Notice how this one is different. The logos are like this. This again is the exact same. It's an OEM, it's not genuine, it's an OEM, but the tab is down here. So again, we need to reconnect it down this direction. So we would lay the tab down just like that, so it's perfectly situated across from this. I'm gonna go ahead and use a razor blade and cut off these little tabs underneath the battery here, right there and there. And again, that is very sticky still, so that new battery will sit very beautifully on the glue sticky tab still. So before you do mash it down really good, making sure it's nice and sticky, line up your tab without putting the tab actually clicked together. Line up your tab so that when you do have it all situated, it's perfectly able to reconnect to the ribbon cable holder there. Okay, we're looking great. So just go ahead and use your fingertips and push down nice and firmly, and it will stick. Trust me on that one. Okay, with the battery still disconnected, we're gonna go ahead and put back in our tabs now. And now it's time to go ahead and reconnect our tabs here. Again, the first one we're gonna do is this one right there. Then we're gonna go number 2, 3, and last one, number 4 up top there. All right, get your support again for the back of it here. And it's gonna be a little hard to get this on camera up close, but go ahead and just reseat those ribbon cables in. Just line them up and they should click into place. Some of them you'll hear a clip, you might not. Just push firmly on the top. There's one very slight click, not much at all. Number 2, no click on that one. Number 3 had a click, the one on the far right edge. And then the last one, that one had a nice click on there as well. And then go ahead and just gently push on them. Make sure they're seated in there really nicely. Okay guys, now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and put on our little shield right here again, which goes on in the exact same direction we had it before. Let's go ahead and put our screws in the exact same way we took them out. Okay, now with all 5 screws in and that metal plate on, we're looking great guys. So now all we need to do is go ahead and reseat your battery now. Go ahead and reconnect that ribbon cable there. And that snapped really nicely in place. And if this little thing is up top, go ahead and just push that in gently right there. Seating that, now we need to put on the metal plate for the battery as well, which we'll go ahead and put on right now. Now what I like to do here is I like to go ahead and start here and just folding it down. You want to line up that top edge and then go ahead and just carefully go ahead and seat it back on down, and then we'll go ahead and push firmly on the edges here and then screw our screws back in. Okay, with the 2 screws back in right there and there, nicely tightened down, nicely flush all the way around. Now what you're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is just go ahead and turn on the phone. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. You have officially fixed your battery and has saved a lot of money. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and wait till it fires up. Battery that I did put in does need to be charged. It looks like it didn't have much of a charge in storage. So guys, that is how you put in a battery. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Consider subscribing because I got a lot of videos on the channel, and I got ones for iPhone 5s, and I think I even have a 4S on there. But anyway, not too many of us have those anymore. But if you are interested in the channel, guys, a thumbs up would be much appreciative if you enjoyed the video, if it did help you. And also on the channel, I do review some other little products like this carbon fiber iPhone case, which I love. Anyway, check it out. Thumbs up the video. I appreciate you guys. You have a wonderful night. Take care. Bye-bye.